Welcome to the JD Bunkis podcast. God, it felt good, didn't it? I don't know how many people were able to watch because it was during the workday. There did seem to be at least a good overlap of people who were in the bar for their lunch break and got to take in some of Canada's absolute drubbing of Czechia, a country that has, frankly, kicked our ass at the junior tournament the last couple of years and was going to be the team's likely, because we won't write off the Swiss today, their toughest test of the round robin portion of the tournament. And Canada came out and was brilliant. So after these games, it's time for Canada Talk with my boy, Sam McKee, who joins me now from Leafs Talk. Sammy, wait, do we have him? There he is. Okay, good stuff.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
First of all, I'm going to do biggest winners from this game with you, but big winners just you and I in general actually getting to watch a hockey game together because
that was different.
We used to do that all the time. You and I would
that was like the core of our friendship.
Yes.
We would get together every single Leafs and Raptors game.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think about now.
Yeah.
But we would get together during Raptors games and watch regular season basketball together. So maybe we just used to be better friends. I don't know what it is.
Well, now we do a post game.
Now that we do a show together.
Yeah. Now we do a show together. We don't go because we go to a lot of Jays games together.
Yeah.
The summertime is basically when we rekindle our friendship.
It's true. We're a summer fling.
Yeah, we are. It's summer fling now every single time. But yeah, it's you, Ben Ennis and I in the bar together. And I really did have a moment where I went, man, I don't know when the last time Sam and I would have watched like a high leverage hockey game together because all we do is watch the Leafs game separate and text and then do Leafs Talk. So that was nice.
Yeah.
I do want to do winners and losers, but just overall feeling of that first one, I don't know how honestly, I don't think it could have been better.
No, it's just, I think my first thought watching the game was that how much I missed the NHLers at the Olympics. Like, I think there'd been a lot of talk, maybe just from Kipper, so maybe it wasn't people talking about this, but like the Four Nations was so great because of the NHL rules. And, you're just going to have that feel where it didn't feel like it was an NHL game. Mm-hmm. And then you go over there and you just see them like with Olympic symbols on, no ads on the boards. It just feels a little more pure in a way. I don't know what it is about it. And just the way that, obviously Canada looks unbelievable. So that helps. That makes it really fun. But it felt really, really nostalgic to just see them on an Olympic ice and have Sid still being there after all these years and have him still being a contributor and having McDavid and McKinnon and having all three of them in on a goal together. It just was a really, really great moment and just reminded me why I loved Olympic hockey so much. It's been so long, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just like, oh, you could live without it if you're just going to have these World Cups. And then after watching the game yesterday and watching all the Olympic hockey that I've been watching, including getting up at 7 a.m. to watch the second and third period of Sweden-Finland today, I love it. And I'm really, really happy that they're back and I hope they continue to be there.
So I was definitely someone talking about the potential for the World Cups, whatever the Four Nations is going to evolve into, being able to eventually steal from the Olympics, right? Just one is going to be, I think, like, we didn't get a bad officiating moment in that Canada game, right? And
no, because they're NHL refs, and it feels like they're officiating like it's NHL without the fighting. Basically.
Right, except for you did get IIHF refs in the second game, the USA game, and there's a goalie interference call where, I was obviously rooting hard for Latvia, but the second goal that gets overturned in that game, it's like the rule there is if you're just basically in the crease and you make any contact, they overturn the call. So I wonder if people will have less of a threshold for this style of officiating if and when Canada receives a bad call. There is also, and I know that there's a certain section of hockey fans that don't want to hear this, but the specter of absolutely no fighting in the Olympics versus having World Cup where you could get fights or Four Nations where you got those moments where it's like, man, Hagel versus Kachuk, that being there. There's also going to be the France game where if Canada just blows the doors off those guys in the round robin and they don't really get an awesome test, you will be looking at that following tournament and going, man, I do like how it's loaded. But I like your point about kind of just like the purity of the event. It does make it feel like when you see Team Canada at the short track speed skating, and they're all watching it together, and everyone's having a reaction and they're all there in the Team Canada gear and they get to be around the village and we get these little clips and snippets of moments. I actually, there's a bigger...
It must rock for those guys.
Dude, it must.
It honestly must. It's rock.
It's the best. Yeah, they walk around the village. They're like one of the only... Actually, that's not true. I was going to say they're some of the only millionaires, but every kid who plays winter sports comes from...
They're all millionaires.
Yeah.
This is the millionaires game.
Yeah, it really is. This is the rich people's game.
The Silver Spoon Olympics.
Yeah. How did you get into moguls, you say? Is like, well... Turns out I had a little family cash to be able to afford those lift tickets.
I lived near a mountain.
Yeah.
And big house near a mountain.
Correct.
So you be the judge.
No, it's the wealth disparity games. Like that's just that is the Winter Olympics. But they get to mob around town, have a good time, just be, in a group of just their peers, take in different events and connect with one another. And that was, to me, I can kind of start with this. The biggest winner so far for me is that we didn't lose Canadian DNA by being out of the Olympics for 12 years, because that's the fear. And I know we got 4 nations and we saw it, but Canada was the more physical team by a wide margin. Playing within the bounds of what is international hockey, everybody's hitting. Everybody's hard on pucks. There was never really any let up from the team. They played solid defensively. It felt exactly like we got in a time machine and went back to Sochi in 2014 when Canada was just a dominant country from top to bottom. It wasn't just the skill. The identity was we play harder than you. And a Czech team that in the junior tournaments has been able to out Canada at their own game in that regard. It was nice to be able to see that transference of style of play from over a decade ago at the Olympics.
Totally. It's just, it's really refreshing. And I'm just pulled up my lineup from yesterday that I had because we can't play audio on the show. So you have to read it like I'm doing impressions of guys.
Yeah.
But so insane. Like they're in the mix zone. You're not allowed to use a piece of audio to hear like what year is this? Anyways, Connor McDavid on his tone setting hit. Our team wants to play hard and everybody wants to play hard at this tournament. You want to be a hard forechecking team. And that doesn't need to be just Willie or Benny or Marchie. It can be everybody.
Yeah.
And like when your best player on his first shift of the game makes everybody think that he's Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
And he goes in, absolutely runs a guy. He just sets the tone. I mean, they win 5-0. But for me, just the willingness that all these guys are, like, they have to play physically. Like, I mean, McKinnon was running around that whole game.
McKinnon had a cross check in that game.
Yeah.
That
just
put
broke a guy's wrist for no reason.
No, his ribs, he was keeled over on the bench. And we had a 2-minute conversation about how strong Nathan McKinnon is. And when he has a little bit of momentum throwing a cross check like that. No, I want Canada to be that team where it's a completely take no prisoners. We don't care. If these are the best guys you're sending, we're going to pummel your best guys, both on the score sheet and with the physicality. I
think you have to give a little bit of credit to Doug Armstrong, though, in terms of setting the tone. Where, like, if Connor McDavid sees that they're taking Tom Wilson, I think that in itself, and they're putting him on the line with McDavid, so John Cooper potentially a winner here too, like that is a real sort of, not wake-up call, but not the word I'm looking for, but just like a message to how they kind of want to play, that they're willing to put this guy who's supposed to be this power forward physical guy who's had a long history of dirty, greasy hits that he's been suspended for long term. If they're going to put him on the top line, it's a message to the rest of the group that, like, this is how we're going to play. And it just makes you feel so patriotic that they still care about that stuff. So I give huge credit to Doug Armstrong for putting him on this team and huge credit to John Cooper for putting him on the top line, because it clearly lit a fire under everybody. It really did.
So I know you're a big junior hockey guy, and you and I debate a lot of the times with the junior team in terms of the selections. Like, hey, should they be taking more gritty players at the expense of skill? It did feel like they tried to make that move 2 years ago, and they didn't have enough skill on their roster. Like, it feels like the junior team right now is in a bit of an impossible position where when they try to take more of the intangible guy, it doesn't have quite the enough intangibles, and then it is the international rules, and we criticize them if they lose for not having enough skill. And then if they lose and have too much skill, we're like, it's pretty boy hockey. Where's all the grit? Where's all the tough intangibles?
Instagram hockey.
But I had a take yesterday about how there's a real opportunity in the NBA for the first guy that says, I really care about the dunk contest again. Like one dude who's an actual star player who says, nah, I don't think it's lame to try. I think it's really cool to try. I want to do that. And if I'm looking down at the younger players, and I had Books on the other day, and I was talking to him about physicality with Verhoff. And he went, yeah, I mean, he's like physical for modern day physical, but there isn't that nastiness to him. And all I could think is what an opportunity there is for kids coming up right now where that style of play is sort of being cut out of the game. Not cut out of the game, that's too strong, but dwindled down, right? You're not seeing as many Jordan Tutus show up anymore. And obviously the game has changed. But if you can now be that guy, and Tom Wilson can skate, he can score. He's a unicorn,
great
right?
Player.
So
he kills penalties. He's like one of one.
Yes. So I don't want to make it seem like, oh my God, this guy's so easy to replicate. Just any old bum can just go out there and be a Tom Wilson. Like I tweeted, we need to clone him because that's the best. That's the best shot we have at the next.
Does he have a son yet? Because that's our next best hope.
Let's get Tom Wilson on the Sun train. We
need a couple sons.
Yeah, we got to
have like a stall-sized family.
100%. We need Tom Wilson to be the next Sutter family. But if you're like a junior player coming up and you get this example of having this kind of Canadian style of hockey at the big stage, I don't know how it wouldn't motivate you a little bit more to see a guy like Tom Wilson for a bigger player who does have obviously the other tools, which is rare, but to say, man, if I can just bring that level of compete, because Tom Wilson hit everyone. There's another moment in the game, which, listen, I have like 5 favorite moments of the game, but one of them is that Czech player leaves his feet. And Tom Wilson's right there. And it's like, that's a safety who sees a guy coming over the middle. Like,
it was Hronik.
Yeah.
It was Hronik. His eyes lit up.
I'm absolutely finishing this check. Like, there's no part of me. I'm going to risk it. Hey, could I end up hitting you high? Could I end up not making the correct contact since this is not exactly a familiar position for a player to be in? Absolutely, but I'm taking it. So, yeah, I think that for me, again, the first winner is just if you're a Canadian hockey fan feeling like you got to watch Canadian hockey. But 2 is, Doug Armstrong with this roster so far after one game. And it's one game, right? Like, that's all we're doing here. Like, these Canada talks are going to be crystallized down to the information that we have in front of us. The roster from top to bottom pretty much. Like, Bo Horvat scores an amazing goal. Nick Suzuki scores a goal. They end up having their lines all look like they have great balance. Their blue line looks good. Bennington looks good. Their coach gets everybody involved in the game. And Canada just was solid. So, anybody that you might have had some reservations about or had conversations with your buddies, like, I don't know, maybe they should have taken this guy or maybe they should have done this. After one game, Doug Armstrong looks like a genius stock up.
Totally. I think, I mean, that's the brilliance of, I guess, you're lucky to be able to build a Team Canada.
Totally.
That so many guys are going to look amazing when you have McKinnon, McDavid, Sidney Crosby, and Macklin Celebrini, and then you can just kind of put everybody underneath that. And yes, I'm putting Macklin Celebrini in there because, I mean, he's one of the winners for me coming out of that game. We'll talk about him, I'm sure. But, like, when you can just kind of layer with solid players, not even solid, above solid, star players underneath the super duper star players. Like, it's a watching that game yesterday, and I watched the highlights 100 times. It's a what's the word? The riches. It's the amount of riches that you have to put on your team. It's ridiculous. It's a absolutely stacked team. But when your guys at the top are willing to, talk like Connor McDavid talked after the game, and they're willing to play physically, I mean, how do you not be inspired by that?
Totally.
Bo Horvat said that he would have filled water bottles to be on the team. The word I was looking for was an embarrassment of riches is what I was trying to say, but I couldn't get to it. It's just, it's got to be a dream to build this team. It's got to be so much fun when you're just like, so 29, 97, 87, 17 now. I guess Celebrini wears 17 on Team Canada, which I thought was interesting. Maybe that's a number he actually really wanted to wear in San Jose. Is there somebody wearing 17?
I thought that's just how old he was.
I guess. But just, you have such an incredible group at the top that the rest of it, they just have to be good and contribute, and you're probably going to win. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, the pictures of Celebrini as a little baby when it was 2010.
Yeah, wearing I tweeted out the picture of him wearing like the Canada jersey, and it's like, oh my God.
No, I genuinely wondered if it was like a reverse baseball situation where they actually lied, like military, like he lied up.
But but he's really young now.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not like it's not like he's like, oh, we're really old because he's grown up.
No, but
he's not grown up.
No,
he's a teenager.
That's it. That's it. I'm just saying that in order to get him to the NHL earlier, they actually lied about his birth year just to be like, hey,
he's 14 now.
He's too good. We got to get him there. He did have that after the game. You had left. You went back to go do your show, and Ennis and I sat at the bar and we watched him do the post game interview, and I realized how old I'm getting now because he had such baby face. Like normally you look at pro athletes and just for our lives, you just kind of look at them and go like, there's like similar age, similar-ish, feel like relatable. I looked at Macklin Celebrini. I went, oh my God, I'm 100 years old. That guy looks like.
I mean, Cowan's been brutal all year. Every time you look at Cowan, you're like, Jesus, I'm 80.
Yeah. Except for the difference is like this guy's on Team Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the other guys
Cowan didn't get much of a look for Team Canada.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, I do have Doug Armstrong as a winner. I guess I can get to that one right now. Just say it. Like I do have Macklin Celebrini as one of the biggest winners. Like it's his very first game. He scores just like he did in the NHL.
It's crazy, eh? First debut, he scored every time he's had a debut.
Yeah,
you see that stat? It's crazy.
Turns out when you're unreal, you score in every debut. But the fact that it wasn't just that he scored, it's that he looked like a perfect fit with Connor McDavid. And I thought actually going into the tournament, there was going to be a little bit more pressure on him than Tom Wilson. Yeah, I talked about with Bukala and a few other people how when we first saw that line, it was so exciting because how could you not be tantalized by the idea of these two guys, two of the top 4 point getters in the NHL, being on the same line, two of the best players in the NHL being on the same line. But to me, it was like a little less certain. Hey, how is he going to handle this pressure? Hey, how is he going to handle playing with Connor McDavid and that speed and that style of player? Like Tom Wilson's path was a little bit more straightforward, right? Like he could just look at Zach Hyman and say, that's what I got to be. I got to go get pucks. I got to go dig it out. I got to be in front of the net and I got to hit guys. Like, cool. Tom Wilson can do that. Macklin Celebrini fit in perfectly. And to your point about, hey, the best players on your team, right? What a luxury it is to have Connor McDavid and to have Nathan McKinnon. You don't want to really be like those guys are still going to be with this Olympic team the following cycle. They're definitely going to be there, the World Championships as the two best players on the planet still. But it's not just having the best guys. It's that your best guys are dogs. And Celebrini played in that game where it was, hey, I'm one of the best players, but I'm also a dog, and I fit perfectly seamlessly. It didn't look like an ounce of drop-off for me in this game. The moment was not too big. I settled in immediately, and I got a game-winning goal in the first Olympic game in over a decade for Team Canada.
First teenager to score a game-winning goal in the Olympics involving NHL players. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I think it just, there's certain guys that, you talk about the moment and being too young. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. That's like he doesn't think about that. It's like when you hit a certain point of greatness and you hit a certain point of like, you look at what he's going to be and just who he is as a guy and as a player. He's not going out there being like, oh God, dude. Like, he's like, I belong here. I mean, he was, what point in the first period was it? I think maybe his first or second shift. He just tries to hammer a one-timer, like as hard as he possibly can, like 5 minutes into the game. And it's like, this kid's 19 years old. Think about what you were doing at 19 years old, my friend. I can tell you right now, wasn't doing anything close to what this guy's doing. It's amazing. Bongs.
Tons of bongs.
For sure. Lots of bongs. Yeah. Probably some lying to myself, telling myself I love Bob Dylan still. Yeah. Probably something like that.
Dressing up like him going to his concert.
I have been to a Bob Dylan concert. It was horrendous.
And dressed up like him.
I had dressed up like him, 100%. I dressed up only for Halloween like multiple times. I was Kramer and Bob Dylan like all through high school. Those are my 2 Halloween costumes.
Love it.
But I just the sense of belonging that he has immediately doesn't surprise me because he's that dude. That's just it. Like I'm sure Book said there's a lot of pressure on him, but he's the type of guy that's not going to feel pressure because he's just so good. So it's great.
Yeah,
it's great that he's there.
He was incredible. Another big winner. Okay, next guy. Do you want to do one?
Yeah, this one is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek one, but
okay.
So I don't know how long ago that was now, a few weeks ago. Throw all the people. The winner is all the people at Scotiabank Arena that stood and give Mitch Marner a standing ovation because you're all the biggest Mitch Marner fans in this city. You had a good day yesterday. All the people at Scotiabank Arena had a good day yesterday watching that game because his line was really good.
Yeah.
Him, Sid, and Mark Stone seem to be a perfect fit. So congratulations to all those Mitch Marner fans that went to the Scotiabank Arena and gave him a standing ovation when he returned, because you loved that game yesterday. You loved it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a big winner for me.
If you are a Marner lover, you are the biggest winner of maybe the day in this market.
Yes.
Because I would say
Fearsy was hammering the group chat, being like, see what happens when he doesn't have a choking dog on his line. Yeah. I'm like, oh, crap.
So, first of all, he comes out last for Team Canada.
Yeah. Sid loves him.
Sid loves him. Asks him to come out last. He's buzzing in the game. Creating multiple opportunities. The pass he makes to Stone is, I think, as legitimately as good as it can possibly be. Like, only McDavid on the team, I think, makes that play other than him, right?
And the wherewithal to jump up in the air 1 second after doing the saucer pass to avoid hit. Like, that's as elite as it gets, all world as it gets.
Yeah.
So,
no,
congrats to the Marner fan
It was
boys.
incredible. Well, we might as well just do this right now. I just think that the feelings are going to be complicated still for some people.
What do you mean, like, just
you're gonna root for him to make plays? Like, there's just no doubt about it.
I really can put my blinders on. I really don't care at this point. Like, seeing his little face on the bench, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. But then it's just like, he's in the game. They're playing sick, and Canada looks awesome. He's one of the guys. It's fine. It's just, you just have to deal with it. So I'm not that heartbroken about it.
No, here's what I did think, though, genuinely about the Marner stuff is, so when I had Versteeg on talking about the Marner game and his return, and he's like, yeah, someday he's going to have his, he's going to be honored properly by the team. That there will be the Vince Carter moment, right? Where he shows up and he cries.
Time heals all wounds. It'll happen.
But my point against it was that with Vince Carter, he did have more of an impact on the team. And Vince Carter also wasn't from here. And as much as it was like, hey, I think they rewrote the history a little bit, where it was like, oh, he actually didn't quit and he actually did want to stay. And it was more all the Raptors management who ate all the bullets for everything that happened with Vince, that he was still just at his peak, a far more popular player in the country. And he was so important to that actual franchise that it's impossible to tell the story of the team without him. And I didn't know if that was going to be the same for Marner. If he wins with Team Canada, if it's him that's, setting up goals and big moments, and it's going to be hard to dislike the guy if he's one of Canada's 5 most important players at the Olympics in a game where, potentially they beat the United States.
Totally. I totally agree. And I have to put it aside. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, a guy that I was frothing at the mouth about 3 weeks ago, I'm now like, yeah, if he's good, I'll like him. That's how much we love Canada. That is how much hockey Canada hockey means to me, is that I'm willing to be like, yeah, good job, Marner. You were great yesterday. Congratulations.
The only part of it that won't dissipate is that it's like,
golden goal, Marner.
You'd have to take it.
Of course, you'd have to take it.
Yeah.
But boy, that Kipper show next day. Oh boy.
Honestly, you and Bourne won't even get to talk. You just got to sit there in the chair
and eat it.
And
just eat it.
Take it for 2 hours.
You are right about Matthews. He's a dog.
2 hours of Kipper just hammering you guys and doing Marner propaganda. Yeah, listen, I do think that it's going to remain complicated for some people. Yep. And it's only going to be worse because the fans that you mentioned, who are like the Marner fans, the ones who showed up in Vegas Golden Knights jerseys in Toronto and basically just flipped allegiances because they decided to go with the player.
Yeah.
You're going to be hearing from them the entire tournament, and it's going to take away from some of the joy, which is their right. Like, totally within the bounds.
This is their Super Bowl.
Correct. So it's like, I'm not saying those people shouldn't be doing it. In fact, this is exactly the time you should be doing it. Yes. And far be it from me, a top tier grade A trash talker during sports.
Yeah, buddy, I saw your post Seattle Super Bowl clips. Okay, bud. I don't think you could tell the Marner people not to talk.
That's it. No, buddy, if you dish it, you got to be able to take it. I would say that's actually one of the worst qualities in a human being, is when it's someone who chirps and then
shuts down.
Yeah, shuts down when it comes back at them or gets snarky, and you're like, oh, that's no fun. That's kind of the worst thing possible. But yeah, no, Marner, credit to him. He was brilliant in that game. He showed out immediately. And yeah, if he continues to play like this throughout the entirety of the tournament and they win, you're going to have to tip the cap, and it's going to change the level of respect. Like, it's not going to be, you and I have talked about this before, how before 2010, people forget, Crosby was more of a controversial figure in the sport. There were way more Sidney Crosby.
Not even close to like beloved.
Totally. Sidney Crosby, a lot of people hated. I remember, like, listen, I had my moments as a Sid hater.
I flirted with it.
Oh, yeah. He had one moment where there was a scrum, I believe, against the Sabres, where he drops down to a knee and he punches a guy in the balls from behind through the legs. And I went, man. And we got that Road to the Winter Classic where we heard him with the way that he talked to officials. And it was just whiner. Man, this guy is such a whiner. And after the Olympics, it completely sealed his legacy and changed the way that we viewed him in the country universally.
The crazy thing is he was brutal in those Olympics until he scored that goal.
Yeah, there was. Oh, no, he was a story of where is he in this? What's going on with this? And now it's completely revisionist. But for Marner, I think that there is a bit of a similar thing that could happen. Not that it will be totally because it's different with the Leafs and having them leave than Sid just being a Penguin. But yeah, if he's one of their best 5 players at these Olympic Games, and you are even the biggest Mitch Marner hater,
got to eat it.
You got to eat it, but also I think you got to come around a little bit. All right, next big winner, obvious.
No, sorry, just quick Sid thing.
Yeah,
I could see him in Vegas if he goes somewhere.
Nah.
Yeah, if he leaves,
nah,
I could see him going there.
I think there's one spot. It's Colorado.
Vegas has got they got a funky way of getting guys.
But why would he leave now?
Well, I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
But like they might not be good next year and he still might want to play.
Yeah. Maybe. I guess if they were really bad next year.
Sid being papered to Dubas and then going and getting traded and going and playing with Marner. It's like the end of
I think Sid's parallel is Steph Curry. Like directly. That it's a guy who is going to.
I want him to stay with the Penguins forever. Don't get me wrong.
But that's it. But with Steph Curry, they're done winning championships. They're never going to win. And you can do hey, wouldn't it be interesting to see Steph go somewhere else? And
it's not worth it.
It's just not
worth it.
Exactly.
No, right.
And it's the same thing with Sid.
You're right.
They're the same guy. So actually, this is a good way to bleed into the next winner. Because I'm so I love my cross-sport comparisons.
Buddy, let's cook.
Ariel Helwani had an all-time great cross-sport comparison that I saw this morning that I'm like 25 out of 10 jealous that I didn't come up with as the cross-sport comparer.
Yes.
Jordan Binnington is Olympic Mellow.
Wow, that's a fantastic comparison. Damn.
I know.
As a hoops guy too, that's a shot between your eyes.
Right between my eyes. Like Helwani pulled up, put it right to my temple, like right between my eyes.
Can I pick at it a bit? I think Mello is much better regular season player than Binnington is. And Binnington has won. But like I get the vision and it's really good.
No, it's really good. It's just like, but the thing is though, is the difference, like why the comparison is so solid is that Carmelo Anthony in the NBA was viewed as a very good player. There's no doubt. In fact, I've always, like, whenever I talk to people about Carmelo Anthony, whenever the subject has come up, I've always gone, he actually entered the territory of underrated, like played on a lot of bad teams, and he also made that trade. It's his own doing, but he made that Knicks trade happen where they pilfered all their assets, and he was forced to play with Amari Stoudemire with no knees.
One of the most electric debuts of all time, though.
I would say the most.
Madison's, it was unbelievable. I'm coming home.
That will never
nuts.
That will never be beaten.
That was a big event.
Yeah.
Man, the NBA used to rock.
Yeah, it really did. It really used to rock. So the Olympic Mellow, Jordan Binnington. Again, you've seen the hater way of looking at this, right?
Yes.
Which is that this is a bad thing for Canada that he played great in the first game because now he gets all the elimination games and that bad Binnington will show up at some point in one of the meaningful games?
You know my thoughts on this. I've talked about this on every platform I've had. He's just the goalie.
Yeah, he is.
He's just the goalie. He's just the goalie. He's the goalie. Like they're going to start Logan Thompson today probably against Switzerland.
Nothing he can do.
And then they'll give Binnington the cupcake against France. and we're going into the quarters, and Binnington's the goalie.
Yep.
So just live with it. Listen,
but
just live
what a
with it.
win for him just to settle it down where it was like early on in that game
awesome.
where it was jittery.
Awesome.
He made saves and he looked confident. And there's a few times, we were talking about this during the game, when he starts to get a little horned up and he starts leaving the net and he wants to do a little additive stuff. And I'm going, God, please don't do this. But it is just a part of the swagger to his game. And seeing him do that, you're like, damn, he's in his bag. He's confident. He's feeling himself. He trusts himself at these events. Like, you know who thinks Jordan Binnington belongs there more than anybody else?
Jordan Binnington thinks he's the best goalie in the world.
Correct. And that is
matters.
probably the most important thing in all of this.
And that's why the Oilers should have traded for him instead of Tristan Jarry.
Correct. And you know who else I was going to say, big loser in the Jordan Binnington discussion?
Who?
It's not people who question. The goalie advanced stat nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Who are like, nah, this is really not just a byproduct of him being behind a bad team. He's just not a good goalie anymore. And if he rips off an Olympic run where he continues to play this way, not obviously shutout every game, but where you're so confident with him in the crease and he doesn't feel like a drop-off at all between him and the world's best goalies, I just don't know how I'm going to look at those stats the same way anymore for goaltenders that have actually proven it on big stages.
Like, I can't believe any hockey fan who's watched hockey in the last however many years, and you're like, you're going into the gold medal game at or a game 7 or whatever, and you're like, who would you rather have, Connor Hellebuck or Jordan Binnington? If you take Hellebuck, you're not a puck knower.
True.
It's like he won MVP last year. He won the Vezina. Like, he's supposedly one of the best goalies in the world. I think the Russian guys have kind of overtaken him this year, but I get why they keep going to him. Cooper loves him. Like, it is what it is. He's the goalie. Until we have a young guy that comes up and plays well and like starts to become the next guy, which I don't know if that's going to be the thing. I kind of, it's a little bit scary. Like, my boy Carter George wasn't perfect at the World Juniors. Like, we need a guy, but until that happens, it's just Banner's net. So live with it.
I actually liked the other guy more at the junior team.
Yeah, Ivankovic.
Ivankovic. Yeah, Jack Ivankovic. Yeah. I was like, but either way, it's not exactly the pipeline right now. Like, it's not like we're covered in glory when it comes to...
Quebec's got to pull their weight. Like, where do you at, Quebec? Like, you used to carry us in net. Like, we used to have Lemieux and Brodeur, and like what happened? Mantha? That's the best you got for us, Quebec? Come on. Nick Waugh? Yeah.
Quebec is hurting, man. Quebec, like, we always make the joke about, what is it, the crisis meeting, the summit? Hey, the Canada Summit, when they lose, Quebec got to have
a Quebec Summit. Yeah,
Quebec Summit is got to be in the works right now. Like, what is
Nova Scotia created 3 of the best players.
Whitehorse Yukon has.
Yeah, it's like, I know.
You're losing to the Yukon, Quebec. It's got something's got to change. Something drastic's got to happen. Anyway, okay, yeah. So keeping it, I do want to keep moving here. So those are my, I would say, biggest winners from this. Like, I had Celebrini, Binnington, Canadian DNA, and Doug Armstrong. Do you have anything else on this? Because then I want to go to the biggest loser.
Go to the biggest loser. I liked Horvat's game yesterday. I don't know if it's a big winner, but I thought he looked good, killing penalties. He can fly. There's a reason they took him. I like Horvat a lot.
Goal was beautiful. He just fit in perfectly, and it was okay. That question's removed. He's in it. Like, this is the reason why he's here.
And I like Cooper playing everybody in the first game.
Yeah,
like that. Your boy Halam there benched all of Rekman Larson for the entire game against Italy. Mm-hmm. It's like, you couldn't give him a shift. And I think the lowest on the team was Bennett, and I think he played like 7:30 or 8 minutes. Like, I like him playing everybody early, figure out who's looking good, see who plays well together, and kind of go from there. But yeah, I mean, God, I don't love Cooper, but as a Canadian guy, I just gotta love him. It's like the Marner thing, but like, he's not my favorite guy. Anyways,
yeah.
What was biggest loser?
Biggest loser is Morrissey? Toronto Maple Leaf fans who realize they have to go from watching these Canada games back to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, they're on this. We have the vacation scaries already. You're on vacation. You're having the time of your life. You're down in a beautiful.
Buddy, I'm on the beach right now.
Correct.
I'm loving life. You're feet up, pina coladas.
You got your feet up. You're drinking a beautiful blended drink. And then you close your eyes for a minute as you take in the sun, and you remember, like, oh my God, I got that report to do for work next week. And That's the feeling if you're a Leaf fan.
They play so many games coming back. They play every night.
Having to watch the Leafs after watching Team Canada might be the worst sporting experience of my entire life.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's like being a Dominican Pirates fan. You're like, I'm watching the Dominican Republic at the World Baseball Classic, and then it's like I gotta go watch the Pirates now.
It's awful. Like it's
awful.
Truly it's hanging over it. It's just like the Olympics is supposed to have the opposite effect of this, right? Which is it's supposed to bring hockey fans in, grow the game. Yeah. People get to see what the sport looks like played at this high level where everybody cares, everybody is engaged, every shift matters. And if you're a casual fan, you tune in and you go, this is hockey? I like hockey. It's the opposite for Leaf fans. It's going to push more of them away because they're going to be like, grow the game. This is going to shrink the game in the GTA because people are going to watch this and then have to go back to the Maple Leafs and go, hey, should they trade Nick Robertson for 2 weeks?
Bobby McMahon for a second?
Pain.
We had Luke Fox on from the
Sportsnet?
arena yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I meant from the arena.
Yeah.
Like he was like at the mix zone wearing a suit, carrying a mic. We had him on like the fancy camera. He looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was just so happy. And then like near the end, he's like, how am I supposed to go back to the Leafs? Like he said it.
Dude.
Everybody is just like feeling it badly.
Just stay there. Just stay there, Luke. Just stay
there. And he said ciao to end his hit. He's now going to be like the AC Milan hockey.
Oh, yeah. Buddy, the biggest lock of the century is all the Olympic people coming back and being back in the press box and going no, they're going to go to the coffee machine. They're going to be like, ugh, this is, it's so big. It's such a big cup that they drink out of here. In Italia, we drink Italian. That's going to be the number one move by every press box person that's over there. Okay, last thing.
Ice cream sandwich. Where's the gelato?
Yeah, 100%. Last thing. You and I go to a Jenny's game every year.
Oh, my God.
I didn't get to this yesterday because I had to save it for you because you sent it to me. And when you first sent it to me, I said, there's no way this is real. And then I didn't even want to click on the link because I thought it was going to be one of those things where the San Francisco Chronicle where it takes you to a link and you just go, you're a sucker idiot.
Oh, like it's just like the pig, the poo butt from the pig?
Yeah,
that's what you thought it was going to be?
You're an idiot for believing that this was real because it was that outlandish.
Yeah.
So if you missed it, the Oshawa Generals put out a statement asking fans to essentially shower before the game. Their head of ticket sales took a stance saying he's never had more complaints about body odor. He said, he put a list down of things that people actually smelt. It was like,
let me guess, darts.
It was not a flattering list. It was bad smell list. Then they tweeted out yesterday apologizing, but the damage is done. Like, you're the stinky fan base now.
Why did they have to put out the statement? Like, did the stinky people be like, I can stink where I want to stink? Like, who pushed back enough? Or was it just that it went viral?
No,
is that why they apologized?
No, the reason why they would have apologized is, and by the way, he said, I got a lot of people complaining about the person next to them smelling like cat pee, bad breath, this and everything else, end quote. Cat pee first.
Cat pee is the most rude. If someone said I smell like cat pee, dude, I'd never leave my house again. That's the worst smell. The reason a cat that came up to my house in Owen Sound and pissed on the front steps, and like I still smell that piss when I go near my front steps, like in Owen Sound. Like it's the worst smell in the world.
Horrible. I actually did work once with a guy who smelled like cat pee, and it was a nightmare. And we were.
You don't have to be so mean to Ennis like that. No, I know he's not. It doesn't smell perfect.
No, Ennis got a lot of flaws, but he's not a stinker. Like he's not a stinky guy. But yeah, I worked in a small room with someone who did smell like cat pee once, and like it almost broke me 2 weeks into the job where I was like showing up being like I think I have to quit. Like there's just no. It's you or me. Like one of these things is gonna have to happen. Anyway, the reason why they had to apologize is clear, is because it's you've stigmatized your own fan base. Like
yeah, I guess.
And
you're the stink boys.
Yeah, you're the stinky boys now. And so if you're like if you're playing the Generals, if you're at the Owen Sound rink, what's it called?
The Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center.
If you're at the Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center and a guy sits down next to you wearing a Jenny's jersey, immediately you just grab.
Oh, you stink.
Yeah, you stink. You stink. PU. It's the easiest chirp ever.
It is.
Like, we go to those Jenny's games because one of our good buds is a huge fan of the team. And next time we go to that game, like,
oh, he's done.
What?
I mean, I've already been hammered.
Yeah,
about
so
being
of
Keeks
course I
just been
have.
getting
Yeah.
it about being a
No,
garbage.
he's on full defense lockdown mode, and it's done. It's
probably the guys going straight from the GM plant straight there. They worked all day.
There will never, ever, ever, ever be a day where I talk hockey with this friend and don't reference that.
I got to tell you, we were talking about this yesterday on the show, and I was crying laughing, and then we got a text right at the end of the show, and I read it on air, and it's the hardest I ever laughed on air. Some guy texted in and was like, I was at the OHL final in London last year, and there was 4 people from Oshawa in front of me, and they smelled like a garbage dump.
Man, that's so sad. Like, it's just,
it travels.
I feel bad because, like, you and I actually really do like that arena.
Buddy, I've been to that arena probably 20 times in the last 4 years. I love going to games there. They suck this year. They're out of their competitive window, but like,
we love going to that arena. We love hitting the bar afterwards. It's a great environment. They care about the team. Like, it's a great arena, and that is just a death blow. I don't think that there's anything worse for any fan of any team. Like, Patriots fans be like, "Oh, you guys are cheaters." They're like, "Who cares? We want to like."
You guys reek.
You reek.
Literally.
You stink so bad that they had to put out a presser about your stench. All-time rough move. Anyway, we got to go.
Well, I just wanted to quickly read for the headline, or the first from the DurhamRadioNews.com.
Mm-hmm.
They had the greatest first line in the history of journalism.
Yeah.
The Oshawa Generals players aren't the only ones being told to hit the shower.
That's tough. That's so tough, man. God.
Get that writer on sportsnet.ca.
I know. That's you're in. You're in. All right. See you later, buddy. Thanks for doing this.
See you, bud. My pleasure.
Sam McKee of Leafs Talk. Subscribe to this podcast. Leave 5 stars. Blue Jays, breaking news, have made a trade. According to Jeff Passan, the Toronto Blue Jays have acquired Jesus Sanchez from the Houston Astros for outfielder Joey Loperfido, who, was traded to the Blue Jays from the Astros. So the Astros, second-guessing their own move. The Blue Jays go and acquire Jesus Sanchez, who's got more of a track record, and who they, I believe, acquired at the deadline last year, if I'm not mistaken, from the Miami Marlins. He struggled last year. I'm just pulling up his baseball reference right now. He was no good in Houston. 611 OPS, not great. Over his 6-year career, though, 727 OPS in the majors, 98 OPS plus. Yeah, had a good start to last year with Miami. 740 OPS, 104 OPS plus. So like an actual guy. So they've identified him. I'll be very clear. I don't really know a lot about this player, so I'm going to have to dig in on more information on Jesus Sanchez. Like, I'm familiar with him. I know who he is, but I can't exactly just break down immediately what this guy's game is. So I'm going to have to do a little research into this. So, but anyways, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to fire out a bunch of texts to some people, try to get a scouting report on this guy. And I want to talk about Adam Silver's big statement yesterday. That's next. So again, if you're just joining us, the Blue Jays have made a trade. They've moved outfielder Joey Loperfido to the Houston Astros for Jesus Sanchez, a 27 or 28, a 28-year-old player who is projected to be a platoon bat, guy that has some real power. Jays really like him because apparently hits the ball very hard. Big time tools is what I'm getting back from a couple of people that I'm texting with right now. So you're gonna see him versus righties, but probably not against lefties, given his splits, which are not overly encouraging against left-handed pitching. Defensively, apparently he's got a big arm, but this is we lost Santander's bat, and we are hoping to replace him with a toolsy guy that has a bunch of power who can at least hit from one side of the plate. And I would say this too, like Loperfido, some people are very high on him. He had some good numbers last year, good speed. A, a lot to like. I think most people were pretty impressed with what he did last season, especially comparing it to when he first came up. He was viewed as, I think it was more Jake Bloss was the crown jewel of the Yusei Kikuchi trade, but this guy was there very much, it was between these two guys. And a lot of people were higher on Loperfido's potential to be a star for the Jays or like a very good player for the Blue Jays than they were even Jake Bloss. But if you look at this outfield and the types of players that they already have, the pathway for Loperfido's playing time was not as clear. And as I outlined yesterday with Ennis, they need home runs, desperately need home runs. They put the ball in play. Teams are looking at them saying, hey, should we be copying the Blue Jays model? That's all well and good. There's no doubt about it. You feel better about the Blue Jays offense now than by far you did a year ago and the way that they want to play. But the biggest quotient of removing Santander was the offense, the home run hitting power. They signed him as someone who hit 44 home runs. He wasn't likely to replicate that in his career, but you thought, hey, maybe you were taking 30 out of there. And a guy like Jesus Sanchez has had seasons where he's hit 18 and 14 three separate times. So maybe you're replacing half of the home runs, maybe even a little bit more with this guy as a platoon player. A little bit more ready to play, a little bit more proven, like this move for the Blue Jays, even though, again, my information on it is a little bit limited. All right, so yesterday we saw fines. Adam Silver, he put the hammer down. He heard all the criticisms of him as the commissioner of the NBA and that he hasn't been able to solve tanking. He hasn't been able to do anything about tanking. And so he fined the Utah Jazz $500,000 and the Pacers $100,000. And in the statement, actually, I guess I should just pull it up and read it verbatim. But he wrote, the Utah Jazz organization has been fined $500,000 for conduct detrimental to league related to the team's games against the Orlando Magic on February 7th and the Miami Heat on February 9th. During those games, the Jazz removed two of their top players, Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr., before the beginning of the fourth quarter and did not return them into the game, even though these players were otherwise able to continue, and the outcomes of the game were thereafter in doubt. Ooh, says, overt behavior like this that prioritizes draft position over winning undermines the foundation of NBA competition and will respond accordingly to any further actions that compromise the integrity of our games. Additionally, we are working with the competition committee and the board of governors to implement further measures to root out this type of conduct. End quote. This is the fakest tough guy thing I've ever seen. First of all, if you're a Utah Jazz fan, you got to be unbelievably pissed off. Like the Dallas Mavericks legitimately threw away an opportunity to go to the play-in game. And like to his point about overtly, they were positioning themselves saying, we do not want to be in the play-in game. We want lottery balls. I think they took Derek Lively the following year. And everyone praised them for it because Lively came in and he and Luka had chemistry and he was a good rim runner. And they thought, oh, what a great pick. They maybe don't have this pick if they didn't tank out of that spot. I don't recall the Dallas Mavericks getting hit with $500,000 fine. So if you're the Utah Jazz owner, you're like, okay, like we did something clearly shady that nobody likes, right? Who wants to see? I just think about the paying the ticket holders, where it's like, it ain't like they dock the ticket prices if they're going to be tanking in these games. They're still increasing them year over year and saying, hey, want to come down and pay NBA dollar to see our G League team? Doesn't really seem right. But if you're the league, okay, fine. I guess this is a okay first step because how are you going to do something more drastic at this point when, like I said, there are so many teams that have skirted these rules? But fines aren't going to do anything. Teams are just going to continue to find more creative ways to circumvent this. They're just going to sit players from before the game starts. Like, where's the fine for the Washington Wizards trading for two players that they don't want to play on at all this season? That they're like, yeah, they're out. They're done. Oh, okay. Interesting. There's, 8 teams right now that are going to be absolutely getting crushed when it comes to their record and the way that they attempt to play in these games. The only way that you are going to solve tanking is if you change this strategy of the sport, and if you fundamentally change the game, I am not at all for free agency for college kids. I think that would really, really hurt a lot of markets. And even if you were able to pay more, you're going to have a tough time getting a lot of players here, especially star players who are going to be looking at it and going, yeah, I'll bank on myself. I'll bank on myself for the change in a few $1 million now and trust that I'll be able to get a contract extension and a wink, wink, and be able to end up getting paid here. And by the way, Mavericks did get fined. So this is actually nothing new in terms of, yeah, like, okay, did that shift the NBA when the Mavericks got fined? No. Like, this isn't changing until you do something where you either remove lottery balls from tanking teams or you go to, there's that idea of the wheel where it's just like it falls on your year and you get the first overall pick. I think that when I was listening to Bill Simmons break this down with Nick Wright a couple of days ago, to me, the best idea is if your record is what it is year over year, you can only pick in that slot one. Like if you pick first overall one year, the following season, the highest you can pick is 5. If you pick 5th overall, the following year, the next year, the highest you can pick is 8. Like I like something like that more than anything else because it really is. It's completely got out of control. And now people are rooting for it. Like I've rooted for it with the Raptors. And to me, like that's actually kind of a real frustrating piece of this is if you're a Raptors fan right now, you look at their path to becoming a great team and it's very, very difficult to see because they're going to be too good to get lottery balls. So you punish the teams that try. It's stopped making sense, and the league is in a place now where more and more people are talking about this. So if the fine is the first step to actual change coming in for Adam Silver, who's taken a million bullets right now, great. But if it's just this, ain't nothing changing. This is just the same old, and you can pretend like you care, but until you do something actually impactful, nobody cares. Quick break. We'll come back, and we're going to talk to Colby Armstrong. One of the best. Colby Armstrong, the Game Notes podcast. As you know. What's up, buddy? How we doing?
What's going on? Am I on right now?
Yeah, you're on. You don't have your you don't have your oh, there we go. There's the video. Yeah.
What's there up? I am.
Yeah.
Hey, that was kind of like a cool, like a throwback American Pie entrance almost in a sense with that song.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's the generation I'm from. So I play that kind of music because the music I listened to when I was 13 is the music that I like now.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Hey, by the way, you're in the big set. Hey, you just sitting there randomly by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're alone all day long. Just that's it. This is honestly, man.
What's it like in the studio now? What's it like in the studio right now during the Olympics?
Well, it's so much better. Like it's just so much better being in here. Like,
is it quieter? Like no one's around. Like everyone's clamoring.
That's the biggest issue for me is that I got my producers, and it used to be that they were behind the glass, so I could see them. I could see their reactions to stuff that was going on, and you're getting like immediate feedback. But when I'm doing rants by myself, and there's no one, and you're just looking out.
Like, is this hitting? Is anyone around?
Yeah, you just got to look at yourself. And the other thing is just like, you know this because you're a big TV star, is when you're in the studios and you got the TV lights and it's early in the morning and you're kind of trying to adjust to the brightness of the lights. You're like, oh, and also we also share another thing, which is we're the pastiest guys on earth. We're the 2 pastiest guys at Sportsnet. So the brighter they turn the lights, the worse we look. And we're like, God.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, turn them down. I'm like that Trump meme, like, no, turn those lights off.
You're like the guy at the bar at 2 a.m. when they turn the lights on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, ghoul.
Don't look at me.
just a ghoul trying to sneak out the back door as fast as I can. So also throwback, Canada at the Olympics looking like Canada at the Olympics. I said it in the first block. Nothing to me was more encouraging than seeing those guys go out there and play Canada DNA hockey, where it was hit everything that moves, win every single battle, compete from the very beginning of the game to the very end of the game, and don't really give up anything dangerous for 60 minutes.
Yeah, and Binnington played great too.
Yep.
Like Coop is on it. Coop has given us and Doug Arm. They're giving us a roster, and Coop's given us like allowing, and like, I think he's preaching from what we saw in some of those clips, right? Like, do it the Canadian way. Like, he's giving us what we wanted. I mean, you got McDavid just blasting guys. Marchand thought it was Tom Wilson that hit the guy. It was McDavid. Like, this is what we needed. This is what Canada needs too. After, the women got smoked by the US, World Juniors haven't gone quite our way. I'm like, these guys need to deliver. They need to deliver, dear Lord.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
It's true,
And
though.
they did.
It's true,
Game
though.
one, they did.
Yeah, it's one game, but it's all we have in front of us. And like maybe the Swiss end up being a tougher out than Czechia. You didn't think that they would be because of Czechia's top-end talent and the fact that they've become a really good hockey nation who has also pumped Canada at the last two World Juniors. So it did feel like there was a little bit more juice in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in terms of how good you feel about this team from game one and the state that, man, that's actually the truth of it all is that the Canadian stuff, like we had the four nations and that was great. And they beat the United States. Yeah. But there is this tilting conversation. Like I had Scott Niedermayer on yesterday. It was great getting to talk to him, right? Awesome guy. It feels like the gap between Canada and the rest of the world is shrinking. And we're seeing it year over year at the junior level. And we're seeing it especially with Team USA and the talent that they're throwing out there versus
where's it shrinking?
Well, I think it's in.
Let me ask you.
I think it's in a couple of different places. One, obviously, the goaltending, even though Binnington was great in that, you just look at the amount of goaltenders that the USA program has in the AHL right now. Like McKee and I were talking about this on our last Leafs talk. Like, if Joe Woll was Canadian, he'd be on Team Canada. Like there's so many guys that are American goaltenders that got left off their list who would absolutely be here for Team Canada. I think that our blue line has lost a little bit of the like Western Hockey League development program where it used to be like, hey, every year we got a monster coming out. He's 6'4", he's got a slap shot, and he pummels people. Like that guy, even this Keaton Vierhoff kid. I talked to Buchel about him, and he goes, yeah, he's nasty for today's game, but doesn't have a ton of bite to his game. I'm like, damn it. We used to make those guys. And
I think it's mentality. It's mentality. Like I watch games. We lost our Canadian way. We lost our mentality in the game. We lost the ability to bully guys and bully teams. And this team seems to have that DNA, which I love, which a lot of people have been waiting for and hoping for. We saw it at Four Nations, yes, but this is Olympics. So I think that's like you watch our teams playing against other nations, World Juniors, for example, like people used to be scared of, like they're not anymore. It's different. The mentality, their mentalities have caught up to ours, or ours has fallen off and resembles theirs kind of in the way the new game is played. And we've lost that edge. And I hope this Canadian men's team can reestablish that with Hockey Canada, much like the Florida Panthers did in the NHL. And I hope it's like a sign of like, okay, this is our recipe. This is our way. And Coop's behind it. These players have it built into them. And I think it's a great thing. And I think it's huge for Hockey Canada. It's just huge for Canada.
Man, it's massive. You nailed it, though, which is, to me, the World Juniors, the way that they have played the last couple of years is like this skill game where other
everyone says this too. Sorry to cut you off.
Go.
Everyone's like, oh, we didn't have Celebrini. We didn't have, Ben Kindle.
We never did.
We never, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? We always like put up Canada team 2 and
that's
like,
what I mean.
But yeah, it's the mentality that we had that we lost.
Yep.
And it's coming up grassroots all the way up to the next level. And it's going to be like that. And we need to recapture it. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to play hockey that way.
Well, just look at the teams they struggle against.
That's how we roll. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
And we've lost it.
But look at the teams that Canada has had a tough time with at these junior tournaments. Like Czechia, look at the way they play. Latvia, look at the way that they play. They don't have an ounce of the skill that Team Canada's able to drop out there. Like you look at NHL draft boards year over year and like, oh, Canada's going to walk away with this thing. Like, okay, the Americans are supposed to be there talent-wise. But those countries that play more like we used to at those tournaments, where it's just a bunch of dogs who care and who finish checks and who get in on the forecheck and win hard battles, that used to be us. And now it has looked to me, and anyways, at times, like I've called it entitled hockey, where it feels like they look at it and go like, oh, we have so much talent. We're going to be able to get this thing done at the end of the day. We don't really need to play with that urgency because the game's going to come to us. And it doesn't work that way. And one of the beautiful things about this Team Canada and why I'm so glad we're back at the Olympics and playing best on best is that we didn't age out that cycle of players before we came back and we were desperately trying to cling on to just a few guys. You look at that roster, and one thing it has in common, top through bottom, dogs. All the way through, dogs. And if you're a kid like Macklin Celebrini, it's not like he had to be taught it too much because, like, the season he's having, how unreal he is. But you don't think there's a huge benefit to having him sit in a locker room with Sidney Crosby and see the way that he prepares for games, to play next to Connor McDavid and go, like, that's the standard for me. That's the guy that finishes checks. Someday I might need to be that guy who sets that tone for our team and passes it down the line. It's huge, man. It's massive.
Oh, and you know, Bedard's watching and Schaefer's watching and these other, like, they're watching, like, this is how it's done. And it's, I think it's vitally important. You know, Suzuki's getting a taste of it, of what it's like to be there as well. Young guy, good player. Right. And I agree. I agree 100%. Dogs. And our best players, the good thing about our best players is they're dogs.
Yeah,
they are.
Yep.
And we've got that. They're not just like, you know, one-dimensional, one-trick pony guys. These guys are hockey players.
Yep.
And that's a major, major advantage for us. Obviously, like, the Americans will be a challenge. They have the same kind of recipe going for them. No question. But, like, what we have with the hope of this men's team is, like, the way we all wanted it to be, the way that we think it should be. And here we go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, like, yesterday was so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, with the game, I know they play today in a few hours, but to have it back again, 12 years missing that, and get it back best on best. And those players on that ice wearing that jersey at that event, like the Olympics. And we heard the comments from players like, hey, we were nervous in the first period, you know, like Nate McKinnon, some of these guys, they've never been on this kind of sporting stage. So, what a day to have everyone back. What a day to watch some hockey with best on best. And then now we start to compare, like, when these teams meet, what are they going to look like? What's going to happen? Sweden lost to Finland today. Like, what's going on with that? Holy.
Yeah, Sweden,
no
tough
Barkov.
Start.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they don't play OEL a single shift. You know, they got Forsberg, they got Holmberg playing above Forsberg. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, John Cooper played everybody.
Yeah.
Like, everybody got ice time for Canada. I forgot about that, how it's 13 forwards, 7D, that you get to have extended benches. I was like, oh, right. It's been forever since we've done this thing.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Of course, great. But why wouldn't you want to get everybody involved early?
Yeah, and Coop is like a good – Coop is like a player people guy, right? Like, he wants to win, yes, and he'll obviously coach to that. But I think he has – like, you hear this, like, he met with Binnington. They asked him when Binnington was going to be your starting goalie 364 days ago.
Yeah, he's a quote.
He's a quote, but he like believes in people, or he brings that to the table to the player to go, wow. Like, I guarantee he's had like a moment with every guy where he's like, hey, like, you're important to us because of these reasons. Like, and he has a way of delivering it that's like so casual and authentic that it's like real. So like he has like a great way about him of doing that. And I mean, look at Tampa forever. They have like good players. Yes. And they seem to find a new guy that, like, this year, especially in their lineup due to injuries or call-ups. And they've done it over the years, but he's like, he gets things out of guys. He makes guys believe, and he has a way about him with people. And I think that's, in a short tournament like this, to rally these guys, to make guys feel good inside of a lineup with different roles that you're not necessarily used to playing. Yeah, I think he's like a masterclass type of guy.
He's huge. And so I'm sure this point's been made a million different times, but guy was a lawyer. Like, he was a defense attorney. And you ever watch procedural dramas, like the Legal Show, where the big hotshot defense attorney, he's waiting, the prosecution goes, and then the next guy stands up and he adjusts the ties. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and he delivers the, like, Atticus Finch top tier closing statement where you go, wow, what a show, what a sick closing statement. You're right. He's developing one of those closing statements for every one of these games, for every one of these players. He knows how to speak. He knows how to deliver a message at a truly professional level. And I can't help but think, like, man, the way that he speaks on Canada and what it means and talking to these players, it's not putting pressure on them. It's inspiring them. And maybe that's easy for some guys. But I'll say it sure doesn't hurt. It sure doesn't hurt having a voice like that, and who especially shows you that he believes in you by making sure everybody gets involved in a game like that, by puts you in those positions, right? Like Tom Wilson right away, Bo Horvat right away. Like all the bubble dudes immediately getting involved in the mix, and they come out and have success with their coach. It's awesome. No, this is awesome. This is so
hopefully
great.
they can carry it. Hopefully they can carry it. And I think the biggest question mark was Binnington, but even when it got a little hot in the kitchen last game, which didn't happen too often, but he was sharp. He was on it. He looked great. So
he looked confident.
He's a salesman in a sense, because he's got to sell you his belief and his system and what your roles are going to be. And he has the ability to get to guys, I think, in an authentic, real way that allows belief. It's different once you throw that Canada jersey on. It's amazing. So these guys are all feeling that. And it's probably coming together fairly quick when you have the people that you have in that room. Never mind the coaches, but I can't say I honestly feel like this is just so massive. We did a thing on one of the Wednesday nights I was on, who has more pressure, which coaching staff / organization has more pressure on them. And I said Colorado at the time. I did. And Luke Gazdick said Team Canada. And I think honestly, maybe technically it's kind of a tie, but I really think Hockey Canada, maybe just because we're in it right now, it's so must win, I think, for the country and for Hockey Canada and for these players, that it's everything. So to have Coop kind of be the guy that delivers that message when it can be super heavy, everyone's watching, of course, and everyone cares. He's the perfect guy for it. But this is a team put together that we're seeing right now, 4 lines rolling of role recognition and also mentality recognition, that from guys that are the highest of high end, that are playing a certain style that is our DNA. And I love it. I loved seeing it.
Totally.
I was complaining about it for the last 2 years. I wanted it so bad. And we got to have 4 nations. That was just a little appetizer. This is a real thing now. And I'm so happy.
Same.
I'll keep my mouth shut on that now and just be behind these guys that they can get it done. But I wanted that so bad. I wanted that identity. I wanted that mentality. I wanted it the Canadian way.
Bang on.
And in game 1, they gave it to us.
That's it. So I agree with Gaz that out of all the teams at this tournament, Canada has more pressure on them as a unit than the Americans do. The Americans are still the underdogs. They're still the ones who are trying to up and come and unseat Canada. Canada's trying to maintain the seat. To me, this actually, there's no question in my lifetime for Olympics, number 1 in terms of pressure is Vancouver. Nothing, you're on home soil. You have to be able to get this thing done. I think 2002, the return to glory, that was huge because it was man, you came off 98, it was so embarrassing. And everybody had 4 years of controversy with that team, and they come out and they get the job done. I don't really think that there was that much pressure at Sochi, because you looked at the lineup and it was it would take a disaster for these guys to lose compared to the rest of the world. That's the most we've ever felt the rest of the world had no shot and we were just them. That was the team. This one I would put closer to the Vancouver Olympics, just because of gotta prove it's still our game. We've seen the junior stuff. We're seeing, man, the women didn't just lose that game. They've lost 7 straight to the United States. They've lost games where it's 4-1, 6-1, 10-4. They've been getting pummeled. You saw that Abby Murphy? I was where's our version of that on the Canadian women's team? The men's team right now has got a huge lift in terms of the identity overall. But that being said, about the individual players, if you switch it to that conversation's different for me. Because McDavid and McKinnon and Sid already have the proven, and I know McDavid doesn't have a cup, but he's gotten to a couple of cup finals. And does anybody look at those and say, oh, the reason why the Oilers didn't win is because McDavid choked? He won a Conn Smythe as a losing player. So, yeah. And he won at 4 Nations last year on a game-winning goal. Canada's top 3 guys, those 3, who I'm still putting in the mix because Sid's still very much there, they have not only just the top-tier skill, not only are they considered the best players in the world, they've got that dog in them where people go, they're going to do anything to win, and they can win. If I have to flip it to most individual pressure, one guy, it's Austin Matthews. He's the guy on Team USA that's supposed to be compared to those other players. And now he's going to be in the eye of the storm. Like, I'm watching that game yesterday and he scores a goal and I go, he's got to have a big tournament, man. Otherwise, I think the worm is going to turn on him for Team USA. Like, if they lose and he doesn't score goals, I think no one would take more of a beating than Austin Matthews at this tournament. And conversely, if they were to win and he's great, no one gets a greater legacy bump.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a huge amount of pressure for him. And, you know, there was lots of questions coming in. I think, I don't know if it was spoken out loud, but like in our, like, are they going to make Austin the captain? You know, it's seemingly it's a Tkachuk brothers team, kind of like the way they present themselves and how they're going to roll, and
look how they open the tournament.
Mentality. Yeah, I know. And just the way that they have that ability of grasping guys around them, kind of, and they have those personalities. And so, yeah, I think for the reasons of what he's supposed to be, yeah, I think there's a lot there, even also wearing the C and coming back in and trying to run it back with some revenge this year at the Olympics from Four Nations. But look at Jack Hughes. Like, Jack Hughes got ping-ponged around last year and looked a little bit out of place. And, you know, we'll see once Canada US meets and the ice shrinks a lot more and what it really looks. Jack Hughes looked amazing the other day. Puck on a string. Quentin Hughes looked to change the game completely as well for the Americans. So, you know, just looking at their overall team, like, I think there's, you know, the 80s documentary, the Miracle on Ice thing came out like a week before the Olympics started on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, I watched that. It was pretty inspiring.
I can't watch that movie.
No, not the movie, the documentary.
Yeah, I know. I can't watch
one.
I can't watch docs. I can't watch movies. It's too close to the Olympics now that it's like
you don't want to lose your edge.
No, I don't want to be like rooting for their old players. Like, no way. I want to just root for Canada. Give me a Canada documentary. Give me more Summit Series stuff. I'll watch that.
Just give me, like, do you see that someone, like, now we've been waiting when Sam Bennett got named when Cirelli went down. It was like a Duhast like music clip that came out of them just fighting guys and knocking guys. I know. I was like literally laying there and I was just trying to put something into my veins, like anything, because I was just like so fired up from seeing that. That's me. That's me. That's the Canadian in me. But I was like, yeah, do we have anything like that? Like with these, like the 1980 Miracle thing that we
got Summit Series 72.
Yeah, Summit Series. Yeah. That's sick too.
Yeah, Summit Series is so sick. On that. Like, that's our thing. That's our, like, national identity thing. And then, yeah, someday, like, it's different with 2010 because, again, we were supposed to win. We weren't the underdogs like the Americans were. But, yeah, I don't know. The pressure of living up to that moment and have it be Sidney Crosby after a tournament where people were really questioning him, and then he turns out to be – he scores the biggest goal, in my opinion, in, like, Canadian sports history. Like, yeah, there's something to that too. But, yeah, there's nothing – we've never been as down as America. No. So it's hard to have, like, the miracle when you're front runners. But, like, for the Matthew stuff, you're right. Like, the Tkachuk brothers, they're the ones who got the biggest PR lift from the Four Nations, right? Like, they immediately roll out a podcast. Everybody loves them. They fight. And granted, like, that 2-0, by the way, for Hagel against Tkachuk, like, beat the brakes off of him before the Olympics too, where I went, that's a real dog Hagel. That's real hate, where he's like, I got to get these in before the Olympics because we're not going to be allowed to do that here. You're not going to get the third matchup. But
yeah, I thought that game, Tampa versus Florida, I mean, Cirelli was already replaced by Bennett, which was very savvy of Coop going into that game, thinking in my head leading up to that last game before the Olympics that would diffuse the situation. It didn't.
No, not
Those
at all.
guys just went at it. Yes. Like, it's just unbelievable.
But that's it, though. They're going to be able to say,
that's hockey.
Like Brady and Matthew, they're those dogs who have that top-end talent. They're kind of already over with the American fans. I don't think Matthews is. I thought Matthews was one of their most dangerous players at the Four Nations. Like, to me, it was like Eichel was their best guy. The Tkachuks were unreal. And Brady, especially during that game, just felt like an absolute bowling ball who I was terrified of. But Matthews was spooky too. He played great, but he didn't finish. He didn't score goals. And that's what he needs to do for Team USA. He's got to be able to score. He's got to be able to have that swagger for them so that people look and say, hey, the identity of who we are, the Freebird stuff, the, like, cockiness of Team USA, that's got to come from the guy that wears the C. Because if he's not scoring, the rest of his game isn't there the same way as the Tkachuks. He's not going to have the huge hit. He's not going to have moments in the game that people go like, oh, well, at least you appreciate the defensive side of it. Like, no. I really do feel like if Matthews doesn't win with Team USA or doesn't have like a spectacular tournament or game specifically against Canada, that I don't think he'll be the captain the next time around. That's for sure. And I also don't think that he'll be like I don't think he'll be a very popular player in the States.
Yeah. Your hopes and dreams resting on a supremely talented guy from Scottsdale, Arizona to like get it done. He got hit. He got hit quite a few times yesterday too. Mm-hmm. Like not only the shoulder to his face, but he got like they were laying taking some licks on him last.
Yeah, they did. They were targeting him.
Like he was on his ass a lot, you know.
Yep.
Like, he got knocked down, which is crazy because he's such a big dude. But I do think there's a significant amount of pressure, and I guess one guy that could kind of deal with it is him. Like, you know, playing in Toronto, being the captain there, and you know, having a deal. So, if there's one guy that could probably absorb it if it does get a little hot in the kitchen for this team, I think just the smart thing is just to keep it as is and not put that pressure of a country on and someone else's shoulders. He already did it. Let's just keep it the same. He can handle it. He wore it. We didn't get it done, but yeah, I think that's probably the mentality of it, and don't want to rock the boat. But yeah, they've got obviously we know what they have. They have like a lot of good surrounding leaders and pieces and players, and an addition of other guys like Tage Thompson. What a goal the other day, like in tight, sick hands. And Quinn Hughes just does whatever he wants on the ice.
Their blue line is the scariest thing about their team.
Yeah, I mean, and Quinn Hughes is just a magician. Like, I don't know what the analytics guys are going to come up with, you know, puck on your stick stats, but I can't see anyone. He leads in the NHL. I can't see anyone touching it at the Olympics with what he's able to do out there to have him. So those are game changers as well. And I guess just in the net, we'll see if the goaltending, what that's going to look like, if it can hold up.
I hope they choke. God, I hope that. I hope so bad that it becomes another conversation.
Are they going with the other guy today? Are they going with Ottinger today?
And the Canada will go with Thompson today for sure. But I don't think that it's a situation where neither of those guys can do anything to actually change the future in net. Like Binnington's the guy. They're going to live and die with Binnington, and the United States is going to live and die with Hellebuck. I don't see any scenario outside of an injury in the final game that those teams play where that changes things, and that's what you don't want. But yeah, anyway, to kind of close that thought on them, I feel like there's actually a bit of a parallel between Matthews and Sundin at the Olympics, where Sundin won with Sweden, and that was always kind of the feather in his cap, where people were like, hey, he could have won. You know, he was a winner. He won on that stage. And if you're Matthews, I think that if you win at the Olympics with Team USA as the captain, people will kind of look at you a little different and go, hey, Leafs kind of stink, and it's not maybe his fault as much as it feels like it is right now. Okay, Sid.
What is it about? Sorry, what is it about like the guys like that are like the second fiddle kind of guys? They're very good, super like Willie Nylander. Like he just waltzes in the Olympics like ho hum, no big deal. And like everyone's just staring at Matthews or staring at Sid or staring like, you know, the guys that are like the number two under a little bit are always have this like great free ride a little with dealing with the pressure and the differences. It's such a difference, isn't it?
Well, Willie definitely deals with it in Sweden though.
Yeah. Well, he's
their guy.
You know, in comparison to the Sundin Matthews thing with the Leafs and being captain and getting it done and finding that big win. Like no one's really saying that about Willie. Like to the same effect that they're saying about Austin.
Not even close. I also just think like, it's just there is something different about being the guy. Even though he is the guy for Sweden, he's not the guy in the NHL, so it translates the same way. Who is the guy is Sidney Crosby, who he's your friend.
Yeah.
One thing I couldn't stop thinking about yesterday when there's that moment where it's what was it? I think it was McDavid to Sid to McKinnon for the goal. That's the order that it went in.
It was Sid to McDavid to McKinnon.
Yeah, so they score that goal, and I'm like, God damn, that felt good.
Sounded good. I know.
It felt so good, man. I went, ooh, it hit me in all of the feels. But I sat there for a minute. I went, man, Sid could have had – there's a world where he could have had 6 gold medals because he should have been at Turin, and they didn't take him. They took, like, Chris Draper. No offense to Chris Draper. I shouldn't have said one guy's name, but, like, that roster, they took Bertuzzi after the suspension. They didn't take Crosby. He gets skipped on 2 Olympics. And, I just think there at least is a world where he goes down as, like, the greatest Canadian Olympian, like, maybe of all time, especially for hockey. But Yeah, what do you like? What does this mean to him at this point?
What's he now? He's 2 points away from McGinley for most points at the Olympics too. Yeah, and I was playing with him when he didn't get selected. What was his 18-year-old year?
Yep.
He didn't make that team. And like that's kind of crazy, as good as he was and is, because I don't know, maybe it's my brain, man, because I look at the teams that went there and I'm like, holy God, like, yeah, like these are the guys like we all grew up at that time idolizing. Like, can you imagine Sid was in that room? I would have been like, holy God, how is he there? This is unbelievable at 18. But yeah, like what his legacy is as a he's Captain Canada.
Yeah, but
like
this does nothing, right? Like a gold, does it even move the needle for him at this point? Like in terms of legacy, no. But to him, meaning wise, this might be his last chance to win something.
Yeah, this is everything. Like he cares a lot. Like he cares. Like this is I wouldn't like everything to him, but this is on his radar and like his target of getting it done. And like that's just the way he's driven, but it's just extra meaning for his country, like, you know, and what he is as a player to our game in Canada. Yeah, I mean, I watch him like a hawk, but like every shift I watch him like he's my son. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, you watch your kid play, but you know, the team's playing, but you only really watch your kid.
Yeah, this is how I watch Gavin McKenna.
Yeah, is that how it is? Yeah. So that's how I watch him, and I'm just like, I live and die with him. Like I'm living this through him. I texted him before the game started, when he was over there, like just good luck, and I want to hear about everything. Like I'm the super fan that's living through, you know, one of the greatest Canadian players of our time. It's awesome. It is awesome to have that and be able to like live it through with him, through him. And like, he's the best. Like he loves sharing stuff with people. And, you know, a lot of stories came out about how he is as a person prior to the first game as well, which was awesome to see. But, like, this is like his heart. You know what I mean? Like this is everything to him to be there and get this done on this stage and compete best on best. So, yeah, don't forget anything, Sid. Even though you had concussions earlier in your career, I want to hear about everything, like what the Olympics is like, and bring it home, man. Bring it home,
man. It was so. I saw a video that was going around of him when he's 15 years old on a porch in Nova Scotia. Did you see that one? Where I didn't see that one. He's got the bleach blonde hair and he's got the beaded necklace.
The puka shell necklace?
No, it's not puka. It's like remember the beaded one where it was like orange and black and he's wearing that thing. And he's getting interviewed by some guy and they're asking him and he just sounds exactly still like Sidney Crosby, where he's like, the hype is nice, the attention's nice, but I don't want to get a big head because it might affect me as a hockey player. I don't want to drop off as a hockey player. I'm like, man, this guy just had it from being a kid, like just knew he was the guy, had the right attitude from the outset. But you watch that 15-year-old kid in the video, and then you see him in the team photo with Canada, and he's standing off the side, and he looks like the chaperone
coach. You know, I was gonna actually send that picture to him and be like, well, "You look like a coach standing here with like," and he had like a different colored jacket.
Yeah,
like
he's a chaperone,
he's a captain.
Yeah, he's like nobody get in trouble. Everybody, hey, knock off the shenanigans in the rooms, boys. Like that was it.
Hey, Hagel, go down in front there, get down so we can get this guy in. Yeah, he's
so
that
great.
guy.
But yeah, he got robbed of those extra Olympics, and that really did bother me yesterday.
He did.
Where I was like, man, he should have more, and I kind of need it like more for anybody. I just want to see Sidney Crosby win again because we're right here that like his legacy is already cemented, right? Like he can't go higher, he can't go lower. He is who he is. Like he's in the greatest four. The lowest you can ever put him is 5, and I have him in the top 4 of all time. But it will just be so nice to have another lasting image of Sidney Crosby winning one more Olympic Games and feeling like, hey, at least he got 3 of these things. And we just work this way where our brains remember the thing that happened most recently. And it's been a long time since Sid won stuff. So to see him be like, get the Olympic gold, there's nothing, if you, like, that's the number one thing I want from this tournament. That's the number one thing I'm most excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100%. And I think it's kind of funny. Like you're Canadian, you know, Canadian people, he's our guy.
Yep.
He's our guy. But even in here, like I'm in Pittsburgh like the Pittsburgh people. There's some people, like some media members here, pushing back, like, how can you cheer for Canada? I know it's Sid and everything, but this is America. Like, cheer for your country, you know? But Sid has a way about him. Like, Sid means a lot to a lot of people, you know, with hockey and the way he is as a person and the way he is in the community, and the way he is as a leader. And like, it's beyond, it's like beyond the game. It's beyond borders, what this guy means to people in this game. So that's just him. That's how he's done it. And he's wore a C the whole time. I don't know what his record is off the top of my head completely at international player playing for Team Canada. It's like 38 and like 5 or something like that. Like, it's close to that.
Yeah.
It's really good. And so let's hope that that can stay flawless here at the Olympics, man. And he can bring it home, because like that story would just be, I mean, a 38-year-old guy, 12 years, no Olympics, dances back in here with his team and leads them as a captain of Canada to a gold medal when Canada was on the mat. You know what I mean? On the mat, and we needed the win. So it's a story that I want to be written.
Badly. Dude, he's 2 years older than Mario was in Salt Lake, which is crazy to think about, because I remember watching Mario as a kid at that Salt Lake games and being like, dude, he's 1,000 years old. This is incredible. And since 2 years old.
When he let the Pronger pass go through his skates to Korea?
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Unreal moment. Just like 11 out of 10 IQ. Do you know Dave Damashek?
Yeah.
Yeah. He roots for Team Canada because he roots for Sid. He's an American, but he's a Penguins super fan. And it's like, you're right. There are Penguins fans who are like,
Pittsburgh guy. I think he lives in LA now, maybe.
Yeah, but he's a Pittsburgh guy, and he just roots hard for Sidney Crosby at the Olympics over nation because of exactly what you're talking about, where it's like he means so much to Penguins fans that there's some people who have torn allegiances.
He's like their kid. He's like their kid. You know? Like they care deeply about him as a person and a player.
Yeah.
That it's that big. And not a lot of players have that connection to people.
I'm rooting so hard for Matthews to choke, like a choking dog, this entire tournament. Like, I want him to fail spectacularly. I don't want him to have a sniff of a moment. Like, I want it to be pain for Matthews and every single one of the American players.
And Sid has the opposite.
Yeah, I can't imagine loving a Maple Leaf to the degree. Like, I rooted for Mats with Sweden, but not against Canada, right? Like, when he got it done, and I was like, okay, nice. But just the idea that Sid means that much to that hockey fan base that it could actually tear your national allegiances, it's
crazy.
So far away from anything that I could ever believe in. Anyways, I wish you the best of luck too. Is like, what's your kid's situation watching these games if it's Canada?
Well, I don't know. I went and picked up my son the other day from school, so I have him home for the week. So today I'll get a read on it for today's game, and I'll report back, because you know how these kids are.
I know, but
who knows what video they watched on YouTube that changed their mind to cheer for a different country or something. I don't know.
But imagine you watch Canada USA with him and America scores and he just holds up his phone and plays Freebird in your face. Like, I don't know how.
I don't think that'll happen. Yeah. I don't think that'll happen. I don't know. I don't know.
That's a nightmare.
I don't know if he has the stones. He's 15. You don't know if he wants to take the belt yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to be ready. You got to be fully ready.
I still got one left in me, bud.
Yeah.
I still got one left
you got to
in me.
show highlights of you just cleaning the clocks of kids in international play and be like, hey, listen, I still got this. I still got this.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Buddy, I was borderline OEL when I played international play.
I still saw one kid almost die from you. So that's 100%. That happened. Colby Armstrong of Game Notes. Thanks as always, buddy. I love it.
All right, buddy. Yeah. Enjoy the Olympics. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, bud. See you soon. I got to read the Billy Town. Yeah, just listen, there's just such a different excitement level, like, to see this team. And you're nervous because you do think about the things that can go wrong. And obviously still a lot good. It's one game. It's the first game of the tournament, but just that I think Armin asked me yesterday, like, is there a way you want to see Team Canada win? I'm like, no, just win. But it's like, okay, well, I wouldn't have even dreamed of it being that good, that quality, that incredible in game one, where it's like Celebrity gets the game-winning goal. Bo Horvat scores the way that he did. They hit everybody that moves. They dominate legitimately the entire game. They play within themselves, but have a ton of passion. You get a performance like that from Binnington, where he's just rock solid. You get Tom Wilson laying bodies. You get a moment where those three guys combine for a goal. Incredible. The iconic Canadian rock group, Billy Talent, is celebrating the 20th anniversary of their sophomore album, Billy Talent 2. And they're coming to RBC Amphitheater in Toronto on Saturday, July 18th, and we've got a pair of tickets to give away. Text the code word VOLTAGE to 590-590 for your chance to win. Today is the last day of the contest, but if you don't win with us, tickets are now on sale on Ticketmaster. Contest open to Ontario residents only. Standard message data rates may apply. Subscribe to this podcast, leave 5 stars, reach out anytime on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis, and we'll see you on the other side of the break for what we missed. All right, last block before the weekend. Congrats to those that are getting the long weekend. I will be here Monday. I will be doing more Canada talk. Basically, what you can bank on is a week of Canada talk coming up. Hopefully, because the only scenario in which that's not the case is if they have a disastrous exit. But yeah, a lot more Canada talk the following week. And yeah, maybe I'll dig into some more Blue Jays because, yeah, we didn't get deep enough into this Jesus Sanchez trade today. But again, everything I'm getting back is good. And the boys put in some numbers for me by the score. 93rd percentile in bat speed. 79th percentile in exit velocity, which lines up with what Ross Atkins said, is that this guy hits the ball hard. And, yeah, he's had a season where he had a 777 OPS. Did I say that right? 7? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. I thought I maybe added an extra 7. And, yeah, he's on a 1-year, $7 million contract. So, and listen, like, again, it sucks losing Loperfido, but you got to trade something of value to get something of value. And to be honest, like, this is the kind of move that you sort of have to be happy to make, which is a little bit more win now, a little bit more need now, without really making a huge, splashy expenditure for the future and being able to see a little bit better what you have with this team. Anyway, Brandon, what did we miss?
Well, there was some more Blue Jays stuff that got, I think, kind of overshot this morning because of the news there. But we had some quotes from Jose Barrios speaking for the first time since, obviously leaving the team in the playoffs last season. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what you heard from Jose.
So he apologized. He said it was, I'm paraphrasing here a little bit. He said something along the lines of, it was a mistake to go home and rehab.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm in a bit of a tough spot here because I feel like I've talked about this as an issue more than anybody in the market. And that has made some people who don't think that this is a big deal believe that this is like a targeted attack or that I can't let go of this thing. I'm talking about it because he addressed it. And I only ever give my actual thoughts on things. I don't care really what other people think. They have to put this behind them because neither party has a choice. Blue Jays are paying this guy a lot of money, and not a lot of teams want Jose Barrios right now. If he had a strong market, I believe that they would be trading him, even knowing that Shane Bieber is going to take some time to come back this season. That apology, to me, was fine. You got to take a guy at face value when he says it was a mistake to go. I'm like, all right. I didn't love that he kept bringing up, like, to be with my family. I was to try to go with my family. It just seemed like, listen, if you're going to have an apology, just say it was a mistake. I regret it, period. Whenever you try to do the whole, and like, you guys know this about me, I don't like it when people make apologies and then they also do the like, but here's some of the reasons. Like, you're like, just own it. Just own it. So I know I'm apology scoring here, but it wasn't as great as I thought it could be. But yeah, everybody's going to have to move on because, again, there's no other choice for the organization. That being said, the question is still going to remain until proven otherwise. What happens if Shane Bieber comes back, he's healthy, and Jose Barrios does not have a spot in the starting lineup because he's not looking great? I'm putting my money down on Barrios actually being Jose Barrios. Like, his career is so consistent. And even through, if you recall, the Spider Tack era, when people were using the different grips on the ball, one of the reasons why it was so smart to go after Jose Barrios is that his numbers never spiked or dipped during that era. He was always just the same guy. He gives you a lot of games. He's very reliable. I don't think that he's a top 3 pitcher anymore in a rotation. But the idea of Jose Barrios being your 4th or 5th guy is a positive from a talent standpoint entering a season. But so, again, maybe that scenario doesn't come up. Maybe there are other injuries. Maybe they they need this guy. Maybe he does have a spectacular season and everything is from a front runner standpoint. Fine. I believe that is a possibility. The only question really that still remains is what happens if you're not a front runner? What happens when the next difficult conversation has to transpire? Like, what is the relationship like right now? How does the organization feel about you? And how much do you trust the organization that if you're going to have to make sacrifices, you're now willing to make them? That part of the equation just can't get answered until it ends up happening. So as good as the apology is, and as much as you park it, as much as you're just like, this isn't a thing that we're going to be talking about every time Barrios has a bad start. I'm not going to be like, well, and he didn't show up for that's over now. Like, they've apologized. You get to kind of move off of it. But the conversation comes back around the second you have to wonder what his role becomes with the Blue Jays, and that's just not going away until he proves otherwise. Anyways, what's next?
Interesting story coming out of Milano Cortina. We had a man from Slovakia who was arrested.
I love this story.
He was arrested on Wednesday in Italy on a warrant that was over 16 years old. I believe it was a string of small thefts that caught him in the eye of the Italian authorities, and he will now be serving 11 months and 7 days for those thefts he committed in 2010. So do you think it was worth the risk for this guy to go down? Apparently, he didn't even get to see the game that he wanted to go to. So I don't know.
Honestly, that's a bummer. That's the only part of the story that really sucks. Is like, he should be allowed to watch the game.
Right.
If you were willing to do, this guy risked 11 months in prison. And that's the fun part of the story. Is like, he was wanted for 16 years for theft, right?
Yeah.
Real Italians, they carry a grudge, man. Stealing? What did he steal?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was from like shops, like little shops. So nothing like
that's
crazy.
What I'm saying. Like, for you to hold on to that grudge for 16 years?
16 years.
So 16 years, a guy shows up in your country and tries to go to a Slovakia game, and the Italians are like, no way, buddy. We never forget a debt. We never forget. We're putting you behind bars. You're gonna pay your debt back to society. It's incredible from that angle, but also just that this guy, that's the kind of sports fan I love. That's who this show is for the person who would risk 11 months in prison to watch their team play a high leverage moment at an Olympics. Not even a gold medal game. This wasn't like, hey, it's a once in a lifetime. Slovakia made it to the gold medal game, and he goes, I got to risk it.
Yeah.
So definitely there's a part of him that underestimated the Italian grudge. The fact that they would arrest him 16 years later for thefts in shops. But God, what a puck lover. I just can't not like this guy. I'm way more interested in this guy and his story than the biathlon cheater who like, this is the top story of the games to me.
Yeah, like, we definitely need like an interview with this guy at some point from
prison.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like,
get him the Zoom
what
link.
happened? How did this all go down? We need to know a little bit more.
God, this guy.
Because it could be one of the
assuming this guy didn't do anything violent, because I don't know the full story, so I put that clause in there. Assuming that he didn't do anything that was beyond the pale, if all he did was steal from some shops, I love this guy. I'm a huge fan of this guy. I love sports passion. I love people who care. That's one of the through lines with this show. So this guy, I hope they give him a TV so he can watch Slovakia games when he's in prison. Subscribe to this podcast, leave 5 stars, reach out anytime at JD Bunkis. We'll see you back here on Monday for more Canada Talk.